Hello there. Well, a big thank you to all the people who've been asking me how I am and how I've been. I do appreciate that. And I'm feeling a great deal of gratitude to all the people that are still going out and doing all the things that enables us to still function as a society. Great gratitude to you too. And gratitude to Blue Sky. That's always something special in England. So my goodness me, yeah, I really do feel like I've been like boom, 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 boom. That really is how it's felt. And having had time to reflect, it's like, gosh, just so much. And my mother's journey, that's been such a big one. And it's gone to its next stage where she's off free, and that's such a wonderful feeling. And I'm so grateful she's not around for this, but she's not stuck in a home somewhere, not able to get out, no one able to visit her. I've got so much gratitude for that. That's very important to me because I know what she was like in terms of how she was about things. So yeah, that feels good. And yesterday, very much adjusting to all the new changes and the limitations and the restrictions. That's been a big thing to deal with as well. And having time to reflect, it's like I'd reached the point where I was just about ready to start entering out into the world, visiting people, starting to do my work again, really looking forward to all that, just making the first tentative steps towards that. And it's like, no, not yet. Okay, right, so dealing with that as well. And was also considering moving my location from here to a different part of the country, to Somerset, and it's like, no, that's all, everything's just going to have to wait. So that's something I'm aware of. It's like there's a particular card in the tarot deck called the Hanged Man, and it's very much like that's what so many people are experiencing at the moment. It's like there is a process which is going on, and our contribution to that is actually to stop and to wait. And it's like, whoa, yeah, okay. But I kind of felt like I was just about ready to get moving. So that's a funny feeling. And then I've got gratitude because this morning Waxara and I did our Qigong on Skype. So there she is in Tenerife doing her Qigong, and I'm doing mine here in Devon. And that was lovely to connect in that way. And I guess part of what I'm going through is just accepting what works and accepting what doesn't work at the moment. And we certainly miss each other, and I certainly miss her physical presence. That was such a delight when we were together in that way. And it's like, no, and I've no idea when that's going to change, because no one really has an idea. And it's a paradoxical thing, because in a sense, even 12 years ago, fellow shamans were discussing this with me, and it's like we knew something would be coming. And I have a feeling that we all thought it was going to be coming maybe 10 years ago, thereabouts, and it didn't. And it's like time went on and went on and went on. And when it looked like it wasn't going to happen, then suddenly it did. So here we all are in this situation. So one thing I want to say about how I'm feeling is I do feel very much oppressed by the electromagnetic radiation, the increase in the number of satellites orbiting the Earth, beaming out their electrotoxicity. Definitely feel that. And if you refer to my film on electricity, you see I made some points about that there. And in the films I made recently about the pine pollen, I felt that was such a strengthening thing to do when I had that pine pollen yesterday. It definitely helped me. And so I feel that it's a matter of doing what I can, really, and going outside, very, very important. Getting in the sea is a wonderful way to cleanse that electrical charge that builds up. And when I didn't have the sea, if I had a place with a bath in it, I would just fill the bath with cold water and immerse myself in that also very effective. The cold shower just doesn't do shit, to be honest. It's just too pathetic. That's my personal experience. But whatever you've got to cleanse yourself from negative energy build up through electrical charge, very, very helpful. Some people find tobacco is very helpful for this. There's all sorts of things you can use. So yeah, I do feel like I've been like, that's pretty much the way I'm feeling at the moment. And I feel a great deal of gratitude towards all of you, because it's like, this is one thing I can do in this situation. I can make films, so I'm going to keep doing that because I enjoy doing that. I enjoy connecting with you in this way. And I enjoy the presence of the plants in my life. They mean a great deal to me as well. And enjoying the mystery, things unfolding as they are, and that sense of trusting within. That's something as well. And there are times I just feel totally shit. There's no question about that. Sometimes I wake up and then I think, oh my God, I just feel absolutely... And that's it. And then when I feel like really bad when I wake up, well, start off with some water. Move on to some rosehip, cat's claw and honey tea. And something I'm doing now and again is I'm making myself a ginseng and honey tea. I'll make a separate film all about that in a minute, so you understand what it is I'm doing, why I'm doing it, the benefits and where to obtain it. Because I'm aware I've made films about things like wild garlic, pine pollen. Those are things you go and find, doesn't cost you any money. But this one, the ginseng, as I'm not living in Korea or Siberia, it's costing me money, and it's an online purchase. And for some people, that is still the easiest way to get things. So I felt that was appropriate, so we'll do that. Yeah, so I just want to reflect back on the experience with my mother, because what I want you to understand is that it was not so much the visiting her that was draining my energy, it was everything about the whole experience. So being present with her, that demanded a lot. When I was not with her, that also demanded a lot. And you could look at simple things like feeling guilty that I wasn't there as much as I would have liked to have been, but it goes deeper than that. It's actually to do with what was going on energetically speaking for us. And what I was doing is I was being a conduit, providing her with that positive energy to keep her going, and happy to do that, and realizing the price I was paying is I didn't have the energy to do journeying at that time. I did not have the energy to work with other people, hardly at all, which is why I did very little work with other people for a while. And it was a very slow, gradual thing, because really for me it began in 2008 when my father began his death process, which took him a year. And that was really the sea change in my relationship with my parents. Suddenly they needed me to be there. And after he passed, she actually really wanted to kind of do her own thing for a while, and that was fine. And then she did need more support. Then when my sister died, 11 years younger than me, that was obviously a really big one for her to deal with. I started being around to the point I was pretty much living here and going off and teaching different parts of the world, and then doing the retreats for all those years. And then gradually as the time went by, she was needing more and more and more. Take on exciting adventures to the Alps and islands, road trip to the Alps, such great things to have done. And then another thing that's really big affecting me is this is the month of March, and you can see my film about Memorial to see how that relates. So yeah, such a significant month for me, this one, and now for everyone. And it's like some of the questions people will be asking themselves, or people say, "Oh, Dad, what were you doing when the lockdown happened?" And it's like, yeah, those questions will be asked. And that's something that I did come across, which is that to be aware that this is not going to go on forever, what we're going through now, and to be really present to what it is offering us, to see the silver linings within the limitations and the restrictions and people's illness and death and all the rest of it, and to know that there is this rollout of this 5G. It is continuing, regardless of the fact that we are in the lockdown, how that's affecting things. And I feel that we're going to have to be very innovative in terms of learning ways to adapt. And that's one of the key qualities of the human being. I mean, I do love Star Trek, I'm sure you all know, and one of the characters, 7 of 9, it's like, they will adapt. And I guess that's what we're all doing. We are adapting to these changes in our circumstances, and we know more changes are coming, and that's the role of the human being. No matter what gets thrown at us, dumped on us, or poured out of the sky on us, we adapt. And for me personally, it's connecting with nature, tuning into plants, discovering more about medicinal plants. When I began my original journeys with the plant spirits of ayahuasca, all the way back in those days, back in 2006, for goodness sakes, and my teacher at that point, he was saying, we need to pay attention to the plants which are in our own locality, local plants. It's not just about pretty colours, it's about working with plants for our healing and strengthening. And they are our greatest allies. That's really my point. And what we choose to put into our body is so important. Water, all these things. So I am disappointed I'm not able to go and visit loads of my friends. That's what I would have been doing now had I been able to do so, just accepting that. And I'll communicate with people by this means as long as it's available. We do what we can and we don't do what we can't. About the size of things, really. So I reckon that's all I've got to say, except just to thank you and thank everyone, and thank the fact that this is a journey. Everyone is on their own personal journey, and yet we're all part of the global picture. So give thanks to your journey, give thanks to all the allies that are around for you, and meditate, do body work, breathe, go outside into wild nature on your own if that's the way it has to be where you live, and appreciate what we've got while we've got it. Thank you.